So you were in film school for, what was it, 1 month?
Yeah, basically a month. I didn't do too well in high school. Although I got an amazing SAT score. I didn't study, but I just did really well on the SATs. I was always a good test taker. But for junior and senior year, I didn't actually go to high school. I think I had like a record-breaking like 42 absences. Um, and I just never really liked school. I didn't like the system, and I didn't like learning about things I didn't have any interest in. I always was, I tested highly gifted, so they tried to put me on like an accelerated track, and I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to do my own thing, which was creative stuff, and at that time I was throwing raves, and so and helping do PR for music artists, and that was way more fun. So I I used to pay people to say they were me in class and sign in on the sign-in sheet. So I didn't do well in the last 2 years of high school. So I didn't have the grades to go to a good film school like UCLA or USC, which is where I had wanted to go. So and my parents couldn't really afford it either. They had just gone through a divorce and sold the house I grew up in and stuff. So and put both of my older sisters through college. So they told me they wouldn't be able to pay it, and so I didn't want to grow up in student loans. Like I didn't want to grow up in debt. So I went to community college, and that was SMC, Santa Monica Community College. And I was there for a month. And while I was there, I was also working at a sandwich shop, which was my second job I ever had, and actually my last straight job I ever had. And when I was working there, uh, I making sandwiches and then going to these film classes at SMC, and the first day of class, we're sitting uh, in the class. We watch No Country for Old Men, and the teacher goes, okay, and what did you guys think of it? And nobody raises their hand. So I raise my hand, and I start talking about the nihilistic themes in the film and really getting in depth into it. And then the teacher's like excited. It's the first day, and he's like, yeah, this is great. What do you guys think? And everybody's like quiet, and then like one girl slowly raises her hand and goes, I liked it. And everybody was like, oh yeah, I liked it too. Oh yeah, he was that guy in it. He was really good. The Javier Bardem or whatever. And I was like, I was trying to talk about like real stuff in the movie, and so I just didn't like being there. So they had a thing where you know they assigned it in the beginning of the year that by the end of the year you had to either write a script or make a short film or something like that, and you had to write like a short script. And so I started writing a short script, and I really liked the short script, and I started writing it into a feature script, and then I finished the feature script, my pure joy. um, and I just started hitting up friends of mine going, hey, I want to make this movie. All I need is $7,000. $7,000 is all I need to make it. That's all that Robert Rodriguez had to do, El Mariachi. I'll try and make it work. So I tried to get 7 grand. And I ended up talking to my friend and then business partner later, Jarrett Cohen, and he gave me the 7 grand to make the movie. And I remember I just stopped going to school, dropped out to make the movie because I couldn't deal with their schedule. And I was working at the sandwich shop, and I remember they called me and they're like, "Hey, we need you to come into work today." And I was like, "I can't do that. I need to do pre-production on this movie." And they're like, "Well, they're like, is it a real movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a real movie. It's like a low-budget indie. It's $7,000 budget." And the guy laughs and he goes, well, you got to ask yourself, do you want to make a small little indie film or do you want to have a job? And I was like, I want to make a small little indie film, peace. And I hung up the phone and never went back, and I haven't had a regular job since. And kind of like to immortalize that, I got life tattooed on my knuckles, which some people thought was stupid because they thought it was like, oh, like thug life. But for me, it was you can't get a restaurant job or a straight job when you have tattoos on your knuckles. And so it was for me, it was getting rid of my fallback, meaning that this is my life. This is what I'm going to do. And if I leave a fallback for myself, anytime things get hard, I'm going to try and go to the fallback. And things get hard. They really do. But as long as you don't have a fallback, you know that you got to keep pushing forward and hustling. And I think, I talked with Wes Craven once when we were working on something, and he said that, and I really took it to heart, that filmmaking isn't judged by how great of a filmmaker you are. A career in filmmaking is judged by the ability to persevere. If you believe in yourself as a filmmaker and keep pushing forward against all odds, those are the people that change things. Those are the people that actually do. And I want to be a doer, and I want to keep pushing forward. And I believe that, you know, it's not always an easy road. I grew up with my dad being a writer. He was, the head writer on Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs. He won 3 Emmys and a WGA award. And I remember sometimes we had a lot of money and sometimes I didn't get presents for the holidays. And it's because there's ups and downs. And as long as you can ride it out and choose to persevere and go through it, you'll do okay.